Hi guys, hi everyone. Welcome back to the Immigrant Story page. As always, it's so good to know we still have you all for our old subscribers, and for the new subscribers, please endeavor to subscribe if you haven't. We're really happy to have you on here. But yeah, always endeavor to leave a comment, leave feedback. We're really interested in that. It's just going to help us, make this more interesting and engaging the way you want it to be. You're the reason why we're here. That's the Immigrant Story we taught you. So yeah, thank you so much. We're quickly just going to jump into it as always. So for today, we've got the one and only, so drum roll. Deda.
Hello. Hi, my name is Deda. Yes, my name is Deda. And I'm happy to be here. So I moved to the UK in September 2021. I moved through through the master's program. So I did a master's in business analytics in Nottingham. And I'm just happy to be here. I hope my story inspires someone. And I hope that it's also able to encourage someone, either at the start of their journey or in the middle of figuring things out.
I love the fact that she just went quickly into a brief introduction, which is so good. Because trust me, that was the next thing I was going to say. And yeah, I definitely know that a story is going to inspire someone, so do well to stick to the end. I think one thing we've actually, done over time on the Immigrant Story is to, introduce icebreaker question. It's just to make you more fun, engaging before we can dive into the serious stuff, because it's always like a serious stuff. So for our icebreaker session, we've got just 3 questions for you. Are you aspiring to the questions?
I'm in my class. It's together.
Okay, cool. So the first question is, what's one thing about your journey that will surprise most people?
So one thing about my journey that will surprise so many people is that, international student school fees are very expensive. They're paying almost like 20 grand, in pounds. And I had to pay that free. So I had to save up so much and, put all my savings into schooling abroad. So I think it's quite surprising for many people. I don't know, maybe I think it was one child or something.
Which is that fully, you paid it all by yourself.
Yes, actually. And I don't know why. So, why really am I trying to trust one child or something? I don't know. Oh, sure. That's something I do all right. So it's usually very surprising way that I share that.
Yeah, I think the reason why it might be surprising, like you said, international student fees are more like ×2 of national student. That's one. And secondly, that's a huge amount of money.
Yeah, I know. 18K, 18,300, I remember clearly.
Yes.
So, yep.
So you're just, you must be like one big woman back in Nigeria.
Well, you have to carrots. I just say, it's too much.
Very correct, very true. But yeah, thank you. That's really good to know. Well done to yourself. That's very good. The second question is this. So, whilst growing up, I know what we always want to be whilst growing up. It's always different from what we turn out to be when we was.
Oh no, that's
some whilst growing up, when you were son, what was that one ambition you've always had that you be when you grow up?
So I don't know if you guys consume lots of MTV, Trace TV. I used to watch lots of Music Africa. I don't know if I remember STV days after school. So I used to want to be a video mixer so bad. I used to dance in front of the mirror okay, yes, in fact. So I wanted to be a video mixing as a child. That was my childhood dream. And
oh wow.
And because I used to get lots of compliments as a child, but you're so beautiful, or you should be a model.
Yes.
So I was already having that subconscious worry that maybe I will do well in that field. So
oh wow.
Here I am. I'm not a video mixer, as you can see.
Oh wow. I never really thought that. That's
actually.
Oh wow.
So it's it's a content you consume at the end of the day, right?
That's good to know. That's good to know, to be honest. But yeah, here you are today doing something totally different from what you had in the stage while growing up.
I'm so the great dancer. That's
I was gonna actually
so I don't know where I had that.
Okay, so cool. Okay. Yeah, thank God you pointed that out. I'm gonna ask you if if you can show us some boom on that.
Oh, I can't show that. I'm sorry.
All right, cool. The third one is gonna be the third question is gonna be, so what part of you do you feel people misunderstand about? Or people just assume?
Okay, assume. Let me. I think I prefer the word assume. So I think because I'm not shy to say I'm a very pretty woman, actually. So I am a very pretty woman. And being a Yoruba lady from the western part of Nigeria, I feel that many people do assume that I'm not from the West. Sometimes I get complaints about, oh, are you sure with your parents are Yoruba? Oh, and I'm like, yes, they are. And they're like, oh, but you look like you're from some other parts of Nigeria. And you're like, that's subconscious bias. So I don't usually, because that's one part of me that people misassume.
Yeah.
And many times I try to use the opportunity to educate people that you can't automatically assume that people are from a particular place.
Yeah.
Because they are beautiful. Are you trying to associate being beautiful with being that part of that? So that means they're from the other area. Wow, it's a shock.
Yes.
So that's what people misassume when I try to correct that one. People misconstrue that.
Just like I was sharing with you, I thought you were able. But other than the spring barbecue was states.
That's so precious.
Yeah. But yeah, good to know. But yeah, thank you for that icebreaker session. But now we're gonna be jumping into the question just to better understand your journey and understand the triumph, the difficulties, how you navigated all of that.
Yeah.
And what you leaned on, what's important to you, and I know you've done a brief in terms of your introduction initially, but this very first question is going to be, how would you describe Deda?
In what context?
So, let's come from a general perspective.
I'm going to tie that into my immigrant story as well already.
Yeah, that's the base.
Okay, so my name is Deda, and currently, as I said earlier, I work as the program manager at a social commerce firm. And I like to describe myself as an ambitious person, and ambitious in the sense that I like to look at things from a bigger picture perspective. Like, even if I find myself in things that I'm not comfortable with or I don't like, I'm like, okay, what can I learn from this? What can I learn from this? Or how can I make this turn around positively? And I take that approach to every phase of my life. So, and I'm really glad to be that kind of person, to be honest. And I feel that many decisions I've made up until this point have been a product of me, seeing challenges as, areas of how to grow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in terms of moving to the UK, my immigrant story, I'll say that, being an ambitious person, I've always thought about things on a global scale.
Mm-hmm.
And I think my thinking about things on a global scale started from when I was primary school. I remember when you do the common entrance, and I remember that many of my friends were going to the secondary school of my primary school. And my dad was like, no, how about we try a different school, like there'll be more people from different parts of Nigeria coming together.
Yeah.
Or other schools as well. Like, yes, you're a very smart child. Yes, you're doing very well academically. How about we go somewhere other people to also do well academically, then you all stay and, you're able to challenge yourself to other things. And that was like, okay, true. It's sort of me thinking about just where I am, but I think I'll dream bigger. So I appreciated that indoctrination, that instilling of that kind of approach to life for myself. And since then moving to the UK, I remember I got into university.
Yeah.
Some of my friends in secondary school also moved to university. Some of them moved abroad. I know I got into university in 2013 when Instagram started.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's in 2013, I don't know what that's what well, that was when I joined Instagram. I joined Instagram 2013. And so based on that, you're able to see people beyond Nigeria. You're able to follow friends, accounts, and you're like, okay, you said, well, and I was in university, so I had many friends at university. I was like, okay, it's been nice for me to experience schooling outside of the country. So I remember that I was in university and I reached out to a lady on Instagram, and I was like, oh, if I want to school in the UK, what do I need to know? Where do you school at the moment? Asking her all those questions. I remember I was putting all these things in my diary, doing research. Then I remember looking at my 2017 journal recently, and I remember that I was studying business management at the time. And I wrote, okay, courses I want to do my master's level. I wrote business analytics. I didn't even know what it meant. I thought it was like a way on. Like, I thought it was a part on business. Yes, of course, but I didn't really, but I thought it was like, okay, something, what can I grow into from this? And I didn't really know how I was going to fund it, but I just, it's not okay to dream.
Yeah.
They don't know what it starts from dreaming. And I put a lot of that down. And subconsciously, like, okay, if I want to move outside the country, what can I do? Like, okay, I started writing how much do I need, how much are the schools, going on the UK website, how much you have as a living cost. So just trying to make all those mental, like, okay, I found out that, okay, based on circumstances at the moment, I could not afford that. And okay, how do I get a job that I can work, I can get to save up the money and then move to the UK. So even from my applications in Nigeria, so even when I left uni, I started doing my applications to get jobs. I was only targeting companies that are going to pay me a certain amount of salary and I was also targeting companies that were going to set me on a great path. I wasn't just trying to go into just any job. I don't mean to like turn down some role, but there's some roles that you take up early in your career and you spend so much time, there's no promotion, no movement, there's no career path, potential career path. I didn't want to be in that rabbit hole. So I think I did LinkedIn like 100 level or 200 level. So I've done like 3-4 internships before I finished uni. But I was trying to like, get as much experience because I knew that, okay, to get to those jobs I wanted, I needed to get like a 2-1. I tried my best to aim towards that. For me to also like I need to have a bit of experience and internship. So I remember I was on LinkedIn trying to, leverage, and I got some internships that did help me to see what the workplace was like. It helped me to select what kind of jobs I want to work in. So I remember I didn't work in a bank in Nigeria, but then I wanted to also be strategic about what kind of banks I wanted to work in, so that I was thinking of the global scale, remember, about how, okay, so then just to put the dumb story, then started now, actually I had no idea what not selling. Yes, I was fortunate after my NYSC, I woke up on entry-level tests and all these things. Because I remember I was only applying to selected companies. And I was fortunate to get into studying bank at the time. I know they do like, this training school and everything. So I got into it, graduated. I was posted to a thing called service management. And I was like,
what is service management?
So service management. And I think during the training school, they asked us to like fill in the potential departments you wanted. I did put in like trade, data analytics. I can't remember, but then I just put some things based off my own knowledge. I thought I knew. And then I found that, but then I was like, okay, so we were doing it. Am I going to say I'm not taking the job or resuming after this training school? So I went online to start like, okay, this field I'm in now, how does it play internationally? I always knew that I went to leave Nigeria. I wanted to like also like, grow my horizon, like let me learn about how things are in other parts of the world. So yes, and I found out that okay, it wasn't so bad as I thought. And it was a potential career path for me to follow. And then I found myself in customer experience, not customer service. I always try to correct that and short. Like people try customer experience, guys. People try it's like customer experience, like, oh, maybe customer talks to the customer. I said, no, it's actually very different. Okay. And yeah, so we can speak about that after the podcast. Let's say podcast. Like that is tough. Yeah. So yes, and I found out that okay, it's a global like skill. I feel like long as you understand the business and the tools, the software are very global one, so it can play internationally. And that's how my journey moving abroad started. And while I was on that role, one thing I had to pay attention to was like I knew I wasn't going to stay in that company for too long, so I needed to learn as much as possible. So what did I start doing? From my day one on that job, I had a document where everything I learned, I was documenting it. I remember that I went online, I Googled jobs in that field abroad in the UK, because I was looking at UK and Canada, but I would Google jobs in that field, look at the job description, and how does it tie into what I was doing. So if I found out that there was something that my manager had not spoken about, I asked him that, oh, hi, do we do this? I know he was probably thinking that, oh, Deda is very inquisitive.
Very strategic.
I feel like I was not really strategic about learning all these skills, because I knew that even when I moved through a master's, after 1 year, I'm going back into the job market. And I wanted to be sure that I was positioning myself ahead of time. And a year is so long that you can't forget a lot of things in a year. So you have to write things down. So I was documenting every single thing I did every day. I had a document, a template where I had like task, objective of the task, the results, stakeholders, everything. And I was always writing like a reflective point of what I actually learned, because many interviews are like, what they tell you, what's your plan? How did you go about it? So I didn't want to forget all these things. So I documented everything down. And God be the glory, yes, because God really is the glory, to be the glory. And I moved out of Nigeria. I was able to save up, get everything together, pack my 2 bags, landed in Heathrow, September 2021, to Nottingham. Did business analytics because I also wanted, because customer experience is so very data focused, and so you can't optimize an experience that you don't have historical data. So you have to be good at that. So I studied analytics and completed my master. During my masters, I was also very strategic. I knew that yes, I didn't have a distinction, and I won't say that was deliberate, but I was trying to put more focus on after the masters. I knew that the masters is very temporary. It's go by so quickly. And I was like, I want to have a job by the time I was done. So I could go to the library instead of actually preparing for maybe my reports or my assignments. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm doing my CV again. I'm taking assessment tests. I was like, exactly. So just trying to do rehearse my about me lines, what I've done, go through the document that I had from Nigeria, that I had done, just so that I'm very confident. So I wasn't waiting till I had an interview before I started prepping. Before I started prepping, because it's easier to navigate an interview when you already have everything. So it comes to you naturally. Even in my sleep, I could tell you my about me, what I've done, project. Wow. I also use the internet to give me questions around this. I had a document when I had potential interview questions and answers. So all those scenarios I've had, so that when I had interviews, it's easy. And to God be the glory, I was able to secure a job before the end of my master's. So I think I turned in my dissertation in September, and almost immediately I got a job. And I resumed December that year, because you have to go then background checks and all things that takes so much of your time. And then I got a job in that field. And
how amazing.
So I'm thankful to God. Yes, and I accepted the job. But then, of course, I was on my postgraduate study time. I'm as an international student with a Nigerian passport.
The goal,
you need to also think about your residency. How do I, get so, because of what I did was that I know at example when I'm prioritizing sponsorship. I'm for me, at that point I wasn't prioritizing sponsorship. I was prioritizing a job in my field, because I didn't want to have I already had my role in Nigeria set me in a particular trajectory, and I wanted to continue in that field, because I really did enjoy it genuinely. Then I got a job in that field. I'm like, okay, when I hit 6 months on this role, I want to start actively applying, because I never applied to, I think it was in JP or so, and 2 months into the role, they were asking me that, so you just spent 2 months on this job, why are you looking to move? I asked them that, of course, because of my residency. And although I didn't get it in, but, I think the problem also why are you looking to apply? Okay, let me sit down and learn, so that I have more recent scenarios, more recent ideologies that I want to share in my interview. So when I hit my 6 months back at my last company, I started actively applying again, because now I had new stuff to say I've done, more kind of experience, because 6 months is a long time. Because you get to learn a lot of things. And that's when my current employment came along, and they were, free me my sponsorship in international student terms. And but then if you look at the Immigrant Story so far, it didn't just start at the point of applying for a master's.
Yeah.
It had been like positioning myself from doing research from even when I was my undergrad. And even when I also moved here as well, I was able to surround myself with a community of people that shared similar bodies as myself. So like one thing I try to tell people is that when they come here is that you need to surround yourself with people that think like you, people that have the same goal as you, because sometimes it's easy to feel doubtful, to feel tired on this journey. Because I wouldn't say what an easy journey walk in the park of us. It's easy to talk about it now. But when you're going through it, you're like, God, what's going on? And also it's important that you surround yourself with people that also see that, so that even when you're like, this isn't impossible, you're able to look at that, okay, Sammy did it, so definitely I can do it. Or, oh, this person did it, definitely I can do it. And so I remember my sister came about the same time to the UK. And she shared to me, okay, I went out with these sets of people and, oh, they work here. And then I was like, okay, maybe these companies are not as hard about it. But you hear these big names and you're like, oh my God.
You are super smart.
Working out a bit. Yeah, of course, it's quite competitive to get into these places, but it was looking at them, seeing them beside me. I'm like, okay, it's achievable. If they can do it, they definitely I can do. So I'm saying that community is important. And there are also people where you meet at the entrance, like entering this country where there's the honesty, like negative things. And so it's like, of course, the taxes are high. Even Nigeria is hard. Here it is hard. I always thought, well, choose your hard. Do you get what I mean? Choose your hard, right? So having this mindset, nothing is too hard to reach. Having people around me to support myself. And also, as I'm a Christian, so I'm backing up this with prayer. And so far that's in brief summary, which is long brief. I'm sorry, I'm trying my best. I was not going to do it. I was going to interrupt you at some point. I'm like, hold on. You're answering all the questions. And I was really so I was like, come on, hold on, what's going on? But no, it's actually good to, just take us through that journey in a very summarized manner. I know it's easier to say now because you've gone through the process, and it's easier to summarize because you've gone through the process. I know there's some in-depth, things that went into the process that probably we can possibly unravel during this conversation. But I think from what you said initially, what really struck me was your proactiveness. You started doing research and started looking into global market and seeing which of your skills transferable to the market you're going into, and how you prioritize job application over your assessment. It's quite something crazy. Those matter for full body, no time. I don't want to I don't want to have a distinction. No plans to no insults or degradations to put that had a distinction, because I had a merit. But then I was like, I don't want to have a distinction, and now I'm struggling to get a job. So it was, and it wasn't subconscious. It just found myself naturally to jobs.
During your story, when you're taking us through your journey, you made mention of community, and I'm going to go back to how you started thinking of the job you're getting into on a long-term basis and not on a temporary basis. So, was it people around you then that were okay, this is what you should be aiming for? Or was it something that, based on you've been in the corporate space, or I don't know what kind of exposure gave you that thought to start just thinking beyond starting my master's? And the way they structure, it's more linear. I'm start my master's, when I finish my master's, I'm gonna start applying for a job. When I start applying for a job, I'm gonna get a job. But yours wasn't like that. Yours was okay, let me get a job in Nigeria and look into the global market and see what skill in that global scale I can get from the job I'm doing right now. Then apply for a master's that I can easily give me more knowledge on that. And probably secure that role when I come up right here. So which is so different from what I just said. So what gave you that what made you like think? I don't have had someone on the platform that actually said the same thing in terms of that he coming here, he's done tons of research and even got a job in Nigeria before leaving Nigeria and coming down this way. I just want to understand, like, how did that come about?
So I'd say that, the way I'd also done research around what the culture is. Like, I felt like I probably DM'd so many people. For me, I may not message people too much, but when I want to get something, nobody is too big, nobody is too high, nobody. How I say, sometimes when I say ambitious in that state, like, what, like, Deda is the person that is likely to speak to somebody in your jobs and it's not just that. It's just like, it's nice to have a chat, but at the same time, I can also learn something from you. So if I want to get information or research something, I don't find it difficult to say hi. I am kind of person that I could see someone on the road, right now. I like their glasses, and I'm like, hi. Even it's quickly, where do you get your friends from? Do you get what I mean? I'm with my friend, and they'll be like, how did you? I'm like, I want to get it. That's their business. And like, mom always tell me this thing, like, if you don't ask, the answer will always be no.
Yeah.
Better for you to ask
and get to know.
And you still thought, and like, okay, I got to know. Then wonder what's going to have been if you did not ask. And then, so that's the same approach I take into, life and things. So back to the question, when you do lots of research, and I found out that the UK is a market where it's also runs similarly to Nigeria, where it's not really about what you studied. It's also about the skills that you have.
What you can do. And funny enough, throughout the time I was in my interviews, there was not one interviewer that asked me about my master's program. Many of them were asking me about my experience, what I've done, what projects I've been on, how I played in those, what would I played in those, in those projects that I said I've done or anything like that. So I was already trying my best, like, to do those research and bring that up. That's why it was easier for me to navigate it, because, okay, I already know what the market won. Yeah.
So it's up to me to position myself for what the market won, instead of going through the linear path. So I was okay. That's why from Nigeria, I was already Googling the skills. And LinkedIn is a very helpful tool. Google, actually, I felt like I was on LinkedIn a lot. Like, so I Google my job and I searched I can search London, search the UK. I search my job roles. I search with Canada or the US. Even to now, I still do it just to know if I'm actually, my roles as my skills actually globally competitive. Because I'm like, I want to move to the US tomorrow.
Yeah.
Can my skill get me something? Okay, yes, over there. So I tried influence my Google and job descriptions.
Yeah.
Just so that was the thing I started doing, so that I can equip myself with the right skills, so that even when I start, like, so even when I'm getting a I'm like, okay, it is not really a skill issue. It's probably
an experience.
It's maybe skill. Like, so I try to make myself as much experience as possible, certifications, learnings, so that even if I'm getting emails from this recruiter, I'm rather, okay, it's not exactly me. Maybe just also what our experience. But then I've already done everything within my own power. It's just my own power, to show myself that, okay, yes, I can do the job.
Yeah.
I'm capable. So
that's a very good mentality you have, and I think it's something I'm going to take away from this conversation. So the good thing,
so I write and I didn't say now job. I document everything I write. Like any project, almost every task. I don't do it every day like I was doing it in nice. Or here, probably remember like weekly. I have like a document where I do it like it's like an Excel document on my private computer. So I just reflect that, okay, I did this one. I did this one. I did that one. And I try to Google scenarios, so that they say, tell me about the time that you managed to. And I also try to reflect on my day. Sometimes you have to be very mindful, such that I could encounter something at work. I'm like, this will make a good case for an interview.
Yeah.
Right? You like with that?
Yeah.
Where you're like, okay, how I manage this situation?
How is the result come?
Exactly. I'll be like, oh, this is a potential interview question. Like, look at the result companies. So that kind of things, I write it down, like, I write it down. so that in the future when I have an interview and I have to like prepare, I already have a scenario waiting for.
Exactly.
So I always say, okay, how do you convince your stakeholders or things where I try something different at work or something that has worked? I'm like, okay, like what document so that you're not waiting for opportunity. So that like I said, that I say, you're not, when opportunities come, you're ready.
Yeah.
What's that? Opportunity means direction? Is that what they say?
When you were talking about it, I was trying to prior. It's a PPP kind of a thing. But yeah, I get where you're coming from as well. And yeah, guys, I'm actually learning so much from this conversation. So if you're not learning while you're watching this, I don't know. But you see, that's one of the reasons why we're having this, to understand the approaches, the step immigrants took towards, landing maybe a job or getting an opportunity or being somewhere. In this, like something you can easily replicate in your own path and just follow. And the result might not be the same. So it might be different, but at least you tried. So, but yeah, thank you so much for sharing data. It's really good. Like, I'm definitely taking it away. So, yeah, quickly, I think you answered the first two sessions, the questions, with your whole, narrative in respect to your journey so far. So I'm just going to jump into the next question. So how would you say, how has your immigrant experience shaped your career and your personal growth?
Okay, how has my immigration experience shaped
your career,
and your personal growth? Okay, so I'll say from a career perspective, it has made me realize that okay, nothing is too hard.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can do, like even though things are hard, I can do hard things because it's not really easy to pack your bags into back-to-back that leave all that for. And I moved here at 24. It's not easy to pack up all that for 24 years into new water. You don't have any friends here. You don't have any family. Yeah, I probably have friends, but you're not coming here to be like, oh, I'm going to tag along with my parents' drop. So I feel like I never realized that, okay, I can do hard things. So I didn't know that, okay, if I put my heart to it, I can actually do stuff. And if I come into learning things, it has helped me. It also taught me to be like more open-minded.
Mm-hmm.
In the sense that, because this is a new culture. Like, you're not used to Nigerian culture. It's very different here. You have to like be willing to let go of whatever ideologies you've probably held on to dearly.
Mm-hmm.
You realize that not many people think like you. And I believe that it's something that people should be more open-minded to. Like, that made me very much open-minded. I've learned so much. And it's as random as things like, okay, how do you sit shares with your glasses in different parts of the world? So you have a very open-minded things. Then I think from also from a career perspective, from personal, but they both tie into each other. From a career perspective, it has helped me to like navigate challenges at work easier. Like, yes, if I get a task or a project that I have to take on and it's still like, hey, how do I want to do this? Because you have a metric you have to meet or something. And I'm like, okay, I can do hard things. I've not done harder things than this before. I should find ways to keep it, And then I'm a researcher.
Mm.
And so I go online, do research, watch videos, just, see how much people have, documented in the past. Thank God for YouTube. I'm so glad I've been born in this town. Digital time. Like, I don't know how to do it in the, because things that 70.
Yes.
I don't know, it varies anyway, but, it's just easier to have it in your pocket like that. It's just saying.
I think it's going to be more of like the time factor, how much they're taking to get what you can easily get 2 minutes, 5 minutes.
Exactly. So I think that's the thing about it. So, yeah, it has helped me to like adapt to things easier and faster. I have new challenges to bring it. And what I is I've adopted this phase of like these two paths. Whenever I go to add stuff in this country, I'm like, okay, there's no point trying to skip it. Let's just go through it to pass. Yeah, so.
Yeah. I think from what I can capture from your response is the mentality. And
yeah,
I think mindset.
Yeah, I think that's the most important part, the mindset. And even as a Christian, bringing it to our Christian perspective, I think there's something that is called like, the strongest mindset, and so some of the stronghold is the mind.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you can get a person to think a particular way,
Yeah.
the rest, their mind is going to self-destruct itself. Do you understand me? So, bringing that approach to life, like, okay, you know, even the Bible says that the man thinketh,
So it is.
so he is.
Yeah.
Do you understand me? And so I really try to like think, and there's one thing I always do as well that I feel like also helps me is I try to already imagine myself in that thing. Do you get what I'm thinking about?
Yeah.
I may have those £10 in my account,
Yeah.
but I don't
See.
see myself and that I have £10.
Mhm.
I don't carry myself like I have £10. I don't speak to myself like I have £10. Like I try to like approach myself from a, more
From a futuristic.
exactly. And it's easier for you to achieve this thing when you already see yourself
In it.
in LSAs, in those things. So with God and prayer and word. So
Yeah, that's very true, to be honest. Just having that futuristic, what's the word? You're envisaging yourself to be like, doing this on a future basis. It's just gonna make you put in the hard work now, because this is the goal you're aiming at. You can see yourself in it.
yeah, it's
But
I was talking about how on the side I'm into like fitness and everything.
yeah,
Well, I feel like that approach fits into several other parts of my life as well, because sometimes people are like, oh, you're into fitness, how are you able to find the motivation to go daily? I'm like, it's not for my now. It's an investment into my future.
Right.
Take that what I mean.
yeah,
I'm like, I always have the approach, okay, the way I can show my loved ones I care about them is by taking care of myself.
yeah,
So that when I'm 70, I don't have kids yet, but I don't have to be important to them. At least I try my best to do the ones within my control, like eating healthy, exercising, to get into steps in. So it's a future investment into myself, like my future self with things. So I will say, like, okay, it's hard for you, see it as an investment into your future self. So it will be easier to find it.
I'm gonna frame the consider after my session, I just pick out like some words and put them into a design and post on as a content. So I'm gonna pick this one. I think it's
But I know it's a good mindset. It's a good mindset to have.
Yeah.
Like, okay, for example, I always tell people that I intend to live long. I intend to live long, but I tend to have to do the work to contribute to living long as well. Eating right, eating exercise. There's a woman at the gym that really maybe inspires me from a health perspective. I met her, I think her name is Andis. She's old and you can tell that she's quite fit. But then she still does a dumbbell every day. I had to ask her one to that, Han, do you mind sharing out what you are? And last year she was like, oh, I'm 77. I was like, we don't mean it. So, oh yeah, I'm 77. She said with so much fun. I know that I was so proud to be like, oh, I know you see me on. I'm going to tell you.
yeah.
Like, you want impulse? Yeah, exactly. And I think recently I saw her again at the gym. And I was like, I don't want to tell you actually to inspire me. And she's like, oh, now I'm 78. Like that's it. And I was like, yeah. From her face, you can tell she's older than you, but from her body, neck down, you can tell she's putting the work. Yeah, she's like, oh, she's been living for over 35 years. And I'm like, oh, really? She's like, yeah. And just realized that this is the outcome of putting in the work. So looking at like, of course, it does live in the present, but at the same time, looking at the future education of things, like, okay, what's the next question?
Yeah, that makes sense. I was gonna say something, but I think I've lost it. But it's fine. It's fine. I'll rush to the next question because I'm just conscious of time. So the next question is: so have you faced? I know this might sound like cliche in terms of question, but have you faced any barrier in your profession due to being an immigrant?
Of course, sponsorship. As a Nigerian with a Greek passport, so it's quite challenging because sometimes you see opportunities, and sometimes you even get callbacks. You do interviews, and they're like, "Oh, what's your current situation?" And that's the most relevant question I believe for international students, or you came as an international student, or it's one of the most relevant questions we ask. Okay, what's the current situation? So I feel like sponsorship, even sometimes I get some opportunities, maybe a recruiter reaches out to you on LinkedIn, and then you keep on talking like, oh, this is a very interesting role. I think I would like to explore that. And then they're like, however, do you have right to work? I'm like, oh, well, I'm currently being sponsored by my current employer, but you have to take that responsibility. And I'm like, can get back to you. They're like, so I think that's actually the major barrier that I've actually faced as an immigrant here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can relate as well. I'm still an immigrant. But yeah, thank you for sharing. I just feel like that's one topic I need to bring someone to come talk about one of these episodes.
And quite subject to navigate.
Yes.
And it's not really about you not doing the right thing. Sometimes you are doing the right thing, ticking every boxes, doing your own work, but then just that particular barrier.
Yeah. But then just realizing that it's not you, it's them, because most times we not get to us and feel like, okay, it's you that's the problem. So it's not you that's the problem. Don't see it as you are the problem. But yeah, it's good to know that that's a common interest for both of us. But yeah, just quickly, so it's actually interesting to hear your story, how you took us through the process in a very detailed level within a short period of time. I know that we'll spend some time talking basically, but yeah, you've passed through this process, you've experienced this process, you've grown from this process, you've analyzed through this process, and I believe to next steps you're in the right position to advise someone as well.
And say advice me
who's gonna be who's currently navigating through this process. So my first question is gonna be, what advice would you give to an immigrant trying to establish themselves in their career? I'm asking this question because I understand that you've moved through the ranks.
I've moved. I've grown less than 50. I've grown.
Okay. So now, tell us, what do you think is the best advice for someone or an immigrant that's trying to do that same thing in their career?
Oh, to be honest, there's no one size fits all in this immigrant, and there's no one best advice. First of all, I'm a Christian, and say, hold on to your God, because you're going to need a lot of hold on. You're going to hold on to the hem of his garment a lot. Yeah. So, I believe, God is a man on story. And if I'm going to give you advice, I will say that God has to be the story. So you have to prayerfully know where you are, because I strongly believe that, greener pastures is not a physical location. Greener pastures is what the will of God is for you, where God wants you to be. Because you might be like, Deda did this or Deda tried that, why is it not working for me? So you just have to know, work that out. That's where God will have me be. First of all,
yes.
Then if you are sure that is when God will have you be, then we can now start working through the rest. I'm like, okay, so I'll then advise you that don't worry, keep at it. Learn, research, ask questions, message people on LinkedIn, send them DM. I see this how you've grown through this, you've done this. How do you navigate this? Ask people questions. You will not know. The answer will always be no. Don't ask. So when you're afraid to ask people, people are always ready to help as much. People are ready to help you than you think. Many times people are well, I don't want to bother anybody. But trust me, people are ready to share. And so doing suffer twice. Why do I have to suffer when I can always ask somebody else?
Mm-hmm.
When I can learn from somebody else's experience. Yes. So challenge yourself to, ask people questions. So equip yourself. You don't want people are not ready to support who they don't come vouch for. Also do your own work. Sometimes people ask me a question that they could use Google for.
No.
I'm like, this is on the internet, gender starving. So you use the internet to your advantage. You research things. We're in a day of where AI is everywhere. Let us say AI. AI is everywhere.
We always study.
AI is everywhere. So we have DeepSeek, you have ChatGPT, many others are coming up. So you utilize this to your advantage, use them, and, surround yourself with the right community. You really need it. People that think like you, especially because if people around you don't see themselves as important people, you will also see as important people and another important person, rather, pardon me. So back to the man thinking in his heart, so is. So make sure that whatever battle we are winning the one against your mind.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. So see yourself already in these things acting. Also, okay, even if you're going through things, think, okay, this is just a temporary challenge. I'm going to move through this. I'm going to scroll through this. It's just, time does help.
Yeah.
So I keep putting in the work, keep praying, and surround yourself with people that can, support you to your journey.
Yeah.
And you're also in the right place. And I mean that you're watching this video, you're also trying to support yourself and equip yourself with the information as well. So you're doing the right thing by also watching videos like this, because I also watch lots of videos similar to this. Maybe not think that thing we don't say, but I also went on YouTube. I was binge watching lots of YouTube videos about people that are already in the UK now, what it was like. So just trying to shape my mindset on expectation, especially because many people have high expectations coming from Nigeria about what they want to achieve, what they want to do. So watching people's video, it was like, okay, manage your expectations and also dream big. So they're dreaming big, they're also managing expectations in some areas, like, okay, it's not really bad if this happens.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can do it this way. So I think that's what I will share.
So thank you so much. And I think someone says something like, always separate yourself from the circumstances, because I'm finding that we're too quick to point the blame on ourselves. Like, you're not good enough, you're not doing this enough. Like, instead of saying that to yourself, pull out the circumstance and see, what is it that I didn't do well to make this right? So deal with the circumstance instead of dealing with yourself.
Yeah. So
it's very important. It goes back to the mindset kind of a thing as well. But yeah, thank you so much, Deda, for sharing. I'm still gonna take that away. Yeah? And we learn every day. We learn every day. So from your story, I've come to see that there's this self-motivation and push, and it's very important to know, like, where does that come from? Like, what motivates you on a daily to want to, your aspiration, your desire. Like, I was so pleased in that you documented your experience, engagement for future purposes. You do one or two or the other to get you closer to that long-term goal you've set for yourself. So what is that continuous motivation?
Okay, so you said something at the beginning. I want to answer that. When you talk about, okay, what does that self-motivation comes from?
Mm-hmm.
So first of all, I called my mom. That's one of it. So I said that first of all, my mother she's a self-starter, and she's a very inspiring person in the sense that right from being a teenager for me. My mom had never really been the mom that believes in you just being cool. So I feel like that drive is from her, in the sense that my dad too has the drive, but my mom has that drive of, like, during summer holidays, she's like, who wants to come with me to the shop? I'm going to pay 500 naira. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So it wasn't free labor.
Yes.
None of that. It's like, oh, help me. And even like, she's going to, buy you lunch, buy your day. So there was that motivation. During holidays, she's like, okay. During my university internship I did, she was what I think motivated me to do that.
Yeah.
She would call her friends and be like, oh, this children at home, what can they come and do? That so they start learning. So I feel like she was setting us up for adult skills. I did that part of, like, don't worry, I'll pay you. And then I found out that I enjoyed it so much because it's like, okay, I want to buy this pair of jeans. If I go to mommy, if I told mommy for 3 times, 500 per day. I was more waiting for this. I so that about 5 people. But you get what I'm saying. So that drive has always been there. And I didn't realize that was what he was trying to do, to make us to be self-motivated, to be starters. And she's always kind of person like, let children try things out. And that. She's like, so I really appreciate her for that part of, like, not being afraid to let us try things or pushing us to even try things. So it's like, cannot become this holiday. Let's find you something. And it wasn't things like books related. Maybe because she was lucky to have very smart student academically. So I wasn't really worrying about books. Our worry was about like, okay, life skills. So I think she didn't just want kids that were academically smart. She wanted those that could like survive. And now here I am 6,000 kilometers away and
Surviving.
Yeah. And I'm so actually really proud. And
Listen.
when they are watching this video, yes. So I really, really appreciate her for that.
Yeah.
So now it's not hard for me to motivate myself.
Yeah.
Like she will tell you that, say, the one thing that mommy always say, you're the architect of your destiny.
Yeah.
And all that. So quick story. I hope there's still time. There are two people. This is how I used to tell people.
Yeah.
There are two people I used to narrate. So two types of people. The one person, okay, let me not smile like there's a person that went to a fortune teller that to know what their future is going to hold.
I know this story. Okay.
And it's is that the man put a millipede here
Yeah.
and put another and put the millipede here, put a black sand here, white sand here. And I was like, oh, if the millipede goes to the white sand, you'll be successful.
Yeah.
If the millipede goes to the black sand, you're not going to be successful. And the millipede went to the black sand. And guess what the person did? The person took the millipede from the black sand and put it to the white sand by himself.
Yeah. How does it be the architect? Tell me your dad. Yeah.
So technically, we have to take that approach to life as well, and know that yes, you have to enjoy it. That's it, and know that eventually, like I believe that in this, like when we put in the effort, it's not going to be sometimes. Some people are lucky to have things easier, but then you have to know your own self. You have to put in the work more. So, and with God on your side, prayerfully, because I will not tell you that I did not pray. Me, I'm going to wrestle this thing out. None of that.
Yeah.
So it's not just me writing things down. It's also me also actively praying about these things as well. So I believe that this video I'm able to like bless you.
We'll finally come to the ending of this interesting episode, interesting section with Deda. Fantastic story. I've learned quite a lot from it, and I believe you have as well. So yeah, we're wrapping up, and just me quickly saying, if you haven't subscribed, please do well to subscribe, like, leave a comment. Let us know who you want to
like.
yeah.
I've never had it.
Okay, go on.
And we like, so guys, like, share,
So
comment, all of that.
subscribe.
So, yeah, feel free to like, share, subscribe. Yeah, so finally.
Yeah, and yeah, so guys, if you want to see anybody on the platform, this is a promise we're making to you. Anybody you want to see on the platform, let us know, and we are going to try our best as much as possible to get that person on the platform and let them share their story. So I'm actually looking forward to those names. Kindly send them in, maybe on Instagram, here, anywhere you can just hold up the Immigrant story. Just drop those questions coming in. But yeah, thank you so much, and this is me signing out.